Phil Silberman with the Silberman Law Firm today, and we are going to go over the Certificate of Formation of a Limited Liability in Texas. This is the document that you file with the Secretary of State to effect a formation of an LLC. LLCs have been around in Texas since 1997, and they've been the preferred entity of most businesses for many years now. The certificate of formation is part of a whole suite of documents that is used to form a limited liability company in Texas. But today, we're just going to go over this certificate of formation, one of the several documents to form an LLC. So with that being said, let's get started. You have some basic recitations here telling you what the document is, the name of the LLC, tells you it's submitted for filing pursuant to the Texas Business Organizations Code. That's the code that governs the formation of Texas entities. Then again, you have the Article 1, the actual entity name. Article 2, you've got the purpose of the entity. Most LLCs are formed with the organized for any lawful purpose. Be careful with that, though. You may be forming an LLC for a single purpose. For example, you might have an LLC to invest in a property, and several of the members may have other businesses, and you really need to put the specific purpose of the LLC. If you don't do that, you might open up the members to liability that they don't want. That has to do with the doctrine of corporate opportunities that's been extended to LLCs. It's basically liability associated with having competing LLCs or competing companies. But if it's a single purpose entity and you specify that single purpose, then you limit your members' exposure. So that's very important to be specific about your purpose in Article 2. Article 3, registered office and registered agent. Every LLC has to have a registered agent. That can be a company, it could be an individual. In this example, it's an individual, Bill Smith. It has to have a physical address. The registered agent is the person or the company that gets served in the event the LLC is sued. It's a place for getting mail and notice. And you list the address there, and the registered agent is supposed to be available. The registered agent can in fact be the member, can be a manager, sometimes it's an attorney. Moving along to Article 4, initial mailing address of the LLC, pretty self-explanatory. Principal office, Article 5, where the LLC has their business in the state. Organizer, that's the person who's putting the LLC together, who's forming the LLC. Does not have to be a member, although it can be. It could be an attorney again, but the organizer doesn't necessarily have any ownership. Governing authority. This LLC is governed by its members. Members are basically owners of the LLC, and it can also have governing authority. Sometimes you can form an LLC that's called a manager-managed LLC, where those managers are the governing authority, and that's similar to having a board of directors like a corporation does. And it outlines here the company doesn't have any managers. And then this is the initial member that it has. Member managed LLCs have to have one member upon formation. In this example, it's just got one member. Effective date of filing. This is usually whenever the Secretary of State accepts it. It could be made effective at a later time. And then you've got some basic execution language here. Doesn't imply any affiliations with government. Is designated as registered. So basic standard stuff. Not committing perjury. And then your organizer signs there. And then this goes off to be filed with the Secretary of State. And I think at the time of recording this video, the filing fee for the certificate of formation is, I think, $300 or $400 in the state of Texas. And you can do an expedited filing where the Secretary of State gets it back in about 2 to 3 business days, or you can just do a regular filing. And I think right now they're averaging about 7 business days. And then, of course, your other main document that we're not going over in this video is the operating agreement. We'll go over that later in another video, and there's some other documents as well, like a registered agent consent and various other things that we'll go over in later videos as part of the full document suite for forming an LLC. So hope you enjoyed this video, or at least I hope you learned something. Not that certificate of formations are particularly enjoyable. If you like this, please remember to like and subscribe. If you want to see some other videos, comment. Let me know some topics you'd like to see posted. And appreciate you watching. Phil Silberman, Silberman Law Firm, signing off.